Hello everyone, welcome to a past life reading, one of our favorite readings to do together. Today I'm drawn for this pick a card for your past life trip about lost cities and civilizations. That's kind of been the content I've been drawn to recently. Examples are like Atlantis, Heliki, El Dorado, right, the city of gold. Or just all the abandoned towns and archaeological proof of ancient cities just abandoned as well, right? Their peoples left. So I thought it'd be fun to see if we were part of any of those lost cities, lost civilizations. Were we there? Who were we while we were there? Were we there during the departure? Near the end, near the collapse? Were we part of the prosperous period, right? When there was rich and vibrant culture. So we'll see. I also was drawn to content that showed, to me, the first time I've ever heard of it, but in sort of ancient battles, the defenders on the walls of the castles, of the fortress, of the barrier, right, of the civilization of the region, using large like magnifying glass, so basically mirrors, and they were using the rays of the sun to burn wooden boats. And I also watched a movie, and it was interesting after watching the historical facts about sort of that tactic. I watched a movie where they applied that right in the intro. You jump into a battle near the end. And it's kind of a fantastical medieval movie, kind of a blend of fantasy and sci-fi, because the battle includes not only the wooden warships in the water that they were using this tactic on, but there was wooden zeppelins in the sky, and they were kind of using that tactic to burn them as well, kind of out of the sky. So not sure if maybe in this group, inventors, or you'll be leaving this reading this time with sort of a wow moment. Like I was quite impressed. I got intrigued and then got really impressed by that tactic. So, maybe we'll see sort of your ingenuity from this past life. So I just wanted to share those two things as I let you kind of tune in and pick what cards you want. I do timestamp, so feel free to jump into your group. Otherwise, I do not pause my video. I go from group to group. I clean up the chart. All that is done on camera. So if you need to pause to continue to pick either your number or your card, maybe rewind a bit since I'm saying that as I take the cards away. I'm going to start here with group number 1. So what past life are we heading into? What's the sort of the connecting tissue here? Does it have anything to do with what I just shared in the intro about the lost cities and civilizations, or the sort of the invention? We'll see. So we'll start with the charms, get some sort of starting points, if you will, and then cards to complement so we can get some details. Trip number 1 also kind of usually establishes a bit of format on what's the common theme or connector between everyone joining the reading today. Okay, they discarded a lot of charms. Just gonna hopefully get my hand angled the right way so you can see, but we have the large deck of cards charm here that they've chosen to kind of keep in my hand, and it's already turning and moving. So they must be wanting to use that today. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, decline of a civilization. So I guess that answers one question from the intro about whether or not we would be close to the end, right? Before the city became lost or the town was abandoned. Just seeing if they want these 2 charms and where. They're tingling, so I know they want them somewhere. I'm not trying to just waste your time here. This elephant. Okay, pulling my hand back. Okay, and I'll leave it like that. I thought I did that by mistake, but it feels purposeful the way the horn is pointed. And we'll just see here. I know they wanted this here, but and a gift. Okay, on the decline. Well, it seems like maybe this is sort of a departure, less so a lost city and more so pick up and go. Okay, let's get the cards and start to travel back now with our angels, the guardians of the Akashic records, letting us in and welcoming us back. They definitely enjoy when we're seeking knowledge from our past, our deep past, right? Our past lives. So they're more than happy to share with us today. Especially since they kind of influenced with drawing my attention to certain content. And they want some cards over here off your intro card. Okay. I don't know why I took in such a deep breath there. I don't think that's normal for me to do in past lives. I wanted to do it again. I feel like I'm preparing. You know when you take like a couple deep breaths before you like go underwater or before you know you need to hold your breath for a while? They're like, it's like getting yourself ready. Okay, let's start with your card. You were drawn to card number 1 or the number 1, the first position in the order that they were in. And we have our 8 of Cups. I wonder if that's why I took the breath. To see how you're now heading off on your journey. Obviously, we're headed back into the past life, so it's nice to see that they're showing us that journey. Although I feel more so like this is the destination of where we have gone back. It's sort of that, setting out, right? Because I did feel with this group more of a leaving, abandoning a city, right? The end of a civilization because you had to leave the territory. What's interesting, I actually didn't think about it in the intro when I was doing, or I guess connected to sort of my historical content consumption. There was a piece on Greenland and sort of, I guess like a Viking culture or Viking settlement. And they weren't adjusting well during the winter seasons or as sort of the colder temperatures started to take over more of the island. They weren't adopting the native tactic of hunting seal, for example, in the winter for meat to kind of sustain you. And they actually had to abandon their town. They had to leave, pick up and go. So it could be something like that. Could be also similar in, I believe it's in Africa where, the Sahara Desert wasn't always a desert. So maybe suffering years of drought or the water's receding here, right? More and more rock and cliffs are getting exposed. So I feel like there's a movement away from your settlement, an abandonment of your town, your civilization due to natural changes here. in the terrain. It's just not livable for you at this time, at least. The way the knowledge that you have, the way of thinking. So maybe that's the heavy sigh from the beginning, right? You don't want to leave. You don't want to have to pick up and leave your beautiful country, but the earth just isn't sustaining you. You don't know how to work with it. Okay, let's see what the cards were with that. Kind of wish we had the 6, 5, 7, 8. We don't have the 6. Okay. 5 of Wands and our 7 of Cups. I wonder if this is like a stripping of natural resources. Maybe that's why I was seeing a lot of wooden boats, kind of drawn to those historical periods, because the way that they're kind of coming in and battling here for the wands, and look how dry the landscape is, right? The trees aren't rooted, there's no water, there's nothing, it's all loose now. There's no vegetation, there's no structure, it's been stripped away. And we have the wealth here, the bounty, the multiple cups. So again, it could be the wealth of resources. So it could be a mining community that you had to abandon. And this is kind of stripping all the trees to build the tunnels, right, for the mining. And then this is you mining for all the natural resources and paying it up and forward to the taker, right, to the property owner, to the royalty that you have to pay. I was just seeing if this is connected to the pyramids at all, right? Labor of putting together the pyramids, and pyramids contain a lot of symbolism of wealth and items of wealth, but definitely not period. So even though I've used this Sahara Desert example, I still feel like it's more of a kind of gone too far with the use of the natural resources around you, kind of this push to keep digging, to keep mining, to keep milling, right? Keep cutting down the trees, because it's creating money and revenue and opulent lifestyle. So this could be over farming as well. So sort of a human overuse of the land, affecting the land, in addition to just natural kind of flow of nature. So a lose-lose kind of combo here. So you had to pick up and go. Nothing left for you. Okay. So let's start at the decline of a civilization. Excuse me. Because we know it's connected to you here. But we have it as a gift. So having to pick up and leave was sort of a redirection in disguise, a positive gift for you in disguise. So this was a learning, a major learning, right, of what not to do, again, what not to repeat. But you definitely picked up and moved your family unit here. So you probably had lots of children, or multi-generational homestead that picked up and moved together, kind of left together. So definitely the sort of reconfirmation of the abandonment of the town. But I like how it's a gift here, sort of this gift in disguise. And then paired with that, on endurance, we have my leaf charm that shows multiple attempts. So each swirl, that's a trial, right? I tried this, okay, didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. Try again, try again, try again, try again. So that might be connected to this learning, right? Trying to find the right territory, trying to find the right balance between use of natural resources and, satisfying the need for opulence. This is also reflective of your past lives, so living this kind of storyline, this kind of journey again and again and again to see if you will overuse, will you overindulge, kind of give into the greed more than seeing what you have, right? What you already have, what's available, what's beautiful around you, or do you continue to strive for that next status, that next symbol, that next notoriety, right? Piece of recognition. So you got quite a bit of endurance here in all these multiple attempts. Might also be just in this lifetime, the trial and error on different types of land and different types in different types of climate in different regions of the world, or even within the country. I'm kind of seeing the migration, I think in the US it was, from like the coastlines into the middle, right, of the country, and kind of getting used to the territory and what can be grown and not grown in those different climates as you get more and more inland. And that would be picking up the whole family, because I believe they were caravans, right? They lived in their wagons until they were able to cut the wheat, cut the trees, build their homes with the logs and the grass, etc. And then maybe they start to build that mining town, right? Start to see that western sort of main street, and then now it's an abandoned city, right? And you got tumbleweeds blowing through. Now it's just a tourist destination. So you picked up and left near the end, or at the end. You were part of the generation that had to abandon. And it looks like you have this beautiful endurance to, not have the wind knocked out of you. You picked up and left, and I did that deep breath, but I kept saying that was preparation, right? To jump in, to dive in. So for you, it probably was to dive into that next adventure, dive into that next unknown, dive into that next try again, right? The next attempt. So they're pairing it with the Queen of Cups. Now this is a beautiful pairing. Sorry, in the Four of Cups. This is a beautiful pairing because the Queen of Cups for me is always someone who's scrying. She's looking in the water. She's an oracle. She's future forecasting, right? So we see her here on the left. She has her massive goblet out. This is probably her past life scrying chalice. So she's looking in it, and then look at her hand, right? Poof. Sending it through your angel here from the heavens, from her energy, from her magic, right? She's able to just reach out and go, okay, here's the answer you seek. Here's some wisdom, because it's the cups, so knowledge, and you're sitting underneath sort of a tree of life. This could be also the tree of abundance, tree of wisdom, tree of knowledge. Look at those three prior attempts. The Queen has met you before. You have traveled back before for some answers. So she was ready, she knew, and here's some knowledge. And it's like the first bit of knowledge is, this is a storyline you are repeating. You've lived this type of journey, soul journey, where you need to pick up and try again. So new city, new company, it could be a new partner, new life, right? It could just be the outcome of a divorce. Resources can just be love and care and nurturing and your energy that just gets used up, right? You get overwhelmed, overconsumed, and you're kind of left with nothing, unrequited love or trauma. So it is a repeating storyline, and there's some extra knowledge. Let's give you another piece of information, right? The gift. This gift from the Queen. Okay, so I feel like this is probably the gift of knowledge over here. Maybe I'll save the magic here for last. We'll end on that. It's nice to end on a magical note. Excuse me. Sitting on motorized travel, and that's interesting because in the intro, if you were with me, I was talking about the movie I was watching that was a blend of medieval times and like sci-fi fantasy, where it had the wooden ships in the water, but also the zeppelins in the sky. It wasn't quite steampunk, but close to that, right? Close to that kind of stylistic storytelling. But you have motorized travel here, so kind of bringing us more forward in terms of how far back we are in an abandoned civilization. So we're probably around like steam engines, trains. Might even be boats that were propelled forward with that wheel on the back. I don't know what's called, but it obviously had a motorized mechanism to get the wheel to move. Who features it in their stories? Is it Oliver Twist? Talks about them? But that's kind of the level of technology I'm seeing here in terms of motorized travel. The charm with that is winter is coming. So this is a long period. This is a delay. A long period of silence, a delay. A period of not much movement, right? Kind of sitting around and waiting, similar to the energy we see in the card from the other group. So maybe we're in a period where there hasn't been much forward momentum and invention here. So I'm not a historian. If you're curious to kind of get a date here, see when there's a period of maybe lack of progress between, so if I go to the train, steam engine to like locomotive, I don't know how long that took, or the boat example they're showing me, like the large wheel on the back propelling versus the engine that we now have on the back. So you're part of a period where there's just a feeling. There must be like a feeling within this city, within the civilization, of lack of progress. Or maybe you're falling behind. Could be that too, because now they're showing me like the printing press for new circulation and sort of the moving to the faster. So from moving from the letter setting, and like actually printing to the conveyor belt printing. Okay. So here's the Queen of Cups again, holding out her fountain of knowledge here for you, the Ace of Cups. And she has a dove here, delivering some hope, some patience. I want to say a bit of intuition as well. Like it's the offering, the biscuit, right? So that's like that's nutrients, but it's for your mindset and your emotional state. Now with the Eight of Wands here, see how it feels like, well, you're not feeling it, you're not, you're not holding the cards. See how there's sort of the breaks I was trying to describe. So there's like progress and then a period of nothing, right? And then all of a sudden an invention comes out, or there's a leap forward, and then a wider period of nothing, and then a leap forward, bit of a break. So if anything, you're probably in this period. Definitely feels like a longer, when it's winter is coming, it's a longer duration. And even when that duration comes back, right, when it ends, you're kind of in the same place. You're kind of in the same place again, actually, here, now that I see that, now that I kind of line it up. So maybe that's why you feel like lack of progress, maybe in this life as well. Maybe that's why you're kind of sitting a little doubtful. That's why she's delivering you hope and trust, intuitive trust and peace of mind. Kind of tap into your existing knowledge about, I've been here before, right? I've had delays in life before, but it's worked out. I've either leapt forward or I made some movement. But in the last 2 or 3 tries, coming back to the Three of Cups, you haven't felt any movement, but it's coming. Look at the water pouring. So maybe it's another leap forward, because that was a pretty significant break, leap forward. So maybe that's what's coming up here. Let's see, because we have magic. Because you've walked away here, I wonder if you return. I wonder if you walk away and then you return with a solution, right? If the territory, the land becomes drought or insufficient, I wonder if you were someone who came back with learnings. You know, you traveled, you went somewhere else, lived, but then you came back with learnings of, oh, I know how to work this land now. I know how to help breathe life back into it. Like the Queen of Cups is here, breathing life back into you, handing you your Ace of Cups. The ace up your sleeve, right? The wealth of knowledge. You hold a font of knowledge. You have all of this experience, all of this already. Bit of a tinkerer with the motorized travel. Okay. So pointing at center of love, we have magical moment, magical memories, and we're obviously going to a past life. So I feel like we're going to get just some more answers there, but I feel like maybe you had a bit of a magic touch, like you could figure things out, even though you may have struggled here, you eventually work it out. Your ingenuity here with your magic horn, the crown is emphasized, your ability to make dreams reality. And that's like a penchant. I don't know why I said that word. Passion, right? Center of love. It's one of you're very passionate about solving the issue of making progress. I think maybe more so making progress, because you get so frustrated when you're not making progress. Like more so than the average person. Okay. So the 3 and 5 of Swords are being paired here with your passion center. And talk about, your passion. They give you a heart. Yeah, you must have been I want to use the word tinkerer again, and I'm saying that because of the swords. They're really showing me metallic gears, metal work. I don't see you as the blacksmith, like making the weaponry. I see you more so the functionality, like how things run. maybe that's why there's also the emphasis on the motorized travel. You feel like you could be a clockmaker, right? You're figuring out how to go to, how to make the hands move, and then you're the inventor that helps us jump to sort of the analog number version, right? The mechanism that clicks the month down, those ones that flap, right? When it kind of ticks forward, so you actually see the numbers. Or maybe you figured out to get the bell to chime, at the 15-minute mark on the hour, to chime the right kind of hour. I feel like you figure how all those kind of mechanisms, how everything connects in and works together to kind of pull these levers. And that really makes your heart kind of excited here. Working on those things, figuring those things out. In the present life, that could translate into your ability to figure out technology, right? Something's not working and you can just pull it apart, put it back together, and voila. Or you just are someone who can combine things or customize. You might be drawn to, careers that are in those kind of fields where you have to figure things out on a daily basis on how things connect and work together. Okay. Let's tune into the card 5 here for a second. Yeah, you're quite happy just kind of putting things and piecing things together. Using tools, you might be someone who's very comfortable with DIY projects. Kind of reserved to yourself too here, which is interesting. So you're obviously an active part of the community, but you're happiest kind of in your workshop, kind of working on your hobbies here. That's what makes you happy. But look how you're watching sort of this decline, right? Kind of looks like they're crying here in the back. This individual kind of feels like they're measuring sort of the water line retreating. It's getting harder to fish, whatever it is, and you're aware, even though you're kind of the builder here. You're kind of figuring out the scientific functionalities of things. You're watching what's happening in your community. You've got that foresight. But also the other way. I don't know if you tend to, or you feel like you only pick up when the end is near, right? In terms of a job or a relationship. You might just get sort of an innate feeling, a gut feeling. Your intuition might be like, okay, I'm reading the signs. I know this decline is happening, but there's this encouragement to flip that around too, which is your ability to see the possibilities, where things are going, because you do that in sort of this interest that you have, this career, this hobby. So translate that into your daily waking life as well. I'm asking about sort of your impact here in this lost city, this lost civilization. I just feel like it's abandonment. I think everybody kind of goes their own way. I don't think it was everybody picked up and all went together somewhere else. It's sort of everybody picked up and left, kind of continued their journey wherever they wanted. But you do look back fondly on this. So maybe you also have that in your present life. Maybe you grew up in a town that you no longer live in, but you look back fondly on that community. Maybe that was your starting point. Maybe it's a school you went to and sort of that that campus community, but you look back on us very fondly. I'm just pausing because I'm coming back to the Queen here with this try again. This try again, patience, try again. You have the tools. You know, it's in your heart. It's kind of your sole purpose to solve these problems, that it's okay to pick up and leave. You've done that before and you realize you already know that restarting or having to start again is something that you can accomplish quite successfully, because we have all the wands here. You know, 8 times. You've done it successfully 8 times, just at different speeds, different acceleration behind your progress. So I think it's a little bit of a shake the self-doubt. You know, you're still sort of supporting and protecting your family. There's no worries there, right? Because you're skilled at this. You're well versed. You have the endurance and the strength, the ability. This is kind of your gift, is to have that brighter beginning after an ending and just kind of walk away from that ending. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick note that your group was abandoned town or community. And I'm just going to put tinkerers. I'll figure out better words before I upload the video. All right. If you're drawn to card 2 or 3, feel free to hang out with us and go to those past lives as well. Otherwise, I'll do a little transition here to group 2. Clean up as we head into the Lost City, or maybe they also abandoned community. I guess we'll see. Okay. Group 2, I'll just move your card aside here. That's your main card. You're drawn to the number 2, second card, middle card, you know, whatever grabbed your attention, I guess. If you skip the intro, we're seeing which lost city or abandoned civilization you may have been a part of, and at what point. Were you part of it while it was still thriving, or were you close to the departure? Were you there at the end? And sort of what your connecting thread is for all of you. And we'll see what kind of knowledge you can take away and kind of apply in your present life, or just see a sort of a reflection of yourself, personality traits that you've brought forward. So we'll start with the charms, we'll get our cards, and then we'll dive into the reading. Okay. So we'll just go around, and I'll either pause or the charms will come down when we're close to an area. Some insights for us regarding this past life. Oh, got a twitch here. Okay. I realize with this large charm in my hand, you can't really see the charms moving on camera. For me, that's part of the fun, at least. I hope it's fun for you too, to see how they're pulling them. There's one coming out the back here. Just waiting to see if it wants to drop. Okay. Oh, another one. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to put that there. Just seeing where they want the charms. And was this one a mistake? Because it came down at the same time as that one. Nope. Okay. I mean, this is feels like an obvious combination when I see underground tunnels, harvesting, right, crops, and then trade. Trade is flourishing. These new farms, right? They were the owners were quite wealthy. But this doesn't feel like an abandoned civilization or a lost city. It's more of an abandoned lifestyle, sort of approach to society that we changed for the better. Unless you had to abandon a farm, abandon some crops, some harvests. I know there was obviously the Civil War that broke out, displacing people. We'll see here. We'll jump in with the cards. What this energy is. Interesting connection, though, in terms of harvest, because group 1, I did see them abandoning or needing to leave their civilization because they overused natural resources. And so the land was no longer thriving, and therefore their community could no longer thrive. So that could be maybe the connective theme here for the 3 groups. Okay. And similar to group number 1, we're going to have some companion cards over here with your intro card. Okay. Past life number 2. I don't know why I wanted to turn that one upside down. So we're kicking off with the 10 of Pentacles, seeing what past life we're going to here. And who you were, what role you were in. So I'm pausing because they're really placing emphasis on this older gentleman and his dogs. But for some reason, I don't feel like this is his family out here. I do feel like their dress, for some reason, their fashion is significantly different or is an indication of status. But I definitely feel like they, you know, if I go to what I was feeling in the intro for your group, this would be like the property owner, the man of the manor, the man of the house, the head of the farm, the owner of the slaves, unfortunately. But there definitely is a class system here. I mean, I guess we haven't really abandoned that at all since history, but definitely more obvious here, more clear cut. Yeah, the money is only raining down on this individual. They're not looking at you. I wonder if you're in their family, but you get no attention from them, or maybe you're in the household, but there's lack of attention, lack of favor. You know, they're really just into their dogs here, to be honest. They care less about the humans around them. Money and dogs. Okay. So we have the Lovers, which is quite nice how it's been paired here. Excuse me. With the 6 and the 4, the way it's VI, IV. So 5115. I'm just stopping here because angels play with the numbers here. So I don't know, give me 1 second. I'll tune into your cards here, like see what you take away. I already got a bit of a story here, but I just want to quickly peek in my angel numbers book to see if there's a 51. There is. Oh, it's 511. Well, you know what? I said 51, and there is a 51. So you're on the right path. Keep your chin up and stick with that positive way of thinking. Your goals are within reach. However, there may be quite a few obstacles on the way. Staying optimistic and flexible with your options is the answer. I take action and trust my instincts. Now I'm reading the other footnotes here, and it's interesting that we're doing a past life reading. The angels made me think of angel number 5151, and one of the kind of bullet points here is about a time of uneasiness during transition and a fear of change, and also breaking free of limiting beliefs. Interesting, as I again tune into that underground tunnels system here. Okay, so take your angel message for what it is, 5151. But what I like about the pairing of these two cards, not only do we have this beautiful reflection, mirror image, so this is like a soulmate image, energy for me, so a mirror image of you. We also have the lovers reconfirming soulmate energy, and then a feeling of a wedding ceremony, a welcoming home, a partnership, divine connection. So a soulmate here as well. So I'm wondering if this decline, this abandonment, it's probably just you that had to pick up and leave, to be honest. You probably broke, Daddy-O's rule here. That's why he's ignoring you. You've fallen out of his favor. His dogs are above you. His wealth and his dogs are more important. Maybe that's why your fashion is the way it is. You're being stopped at the door. They don't want to see the grandchildren. You're not in my family. So you must have chosen to follow your heart, be with your soulmate, regardless of status, regardless of who they were. Love. Love over wealth, love over societal status. Obviously, there was some fear that came with that change, but you went for it. You followed your heart. Oh, I just looked over. This is my soulmate charm, protector. So yeah, definitely you're going back to a previous past life where you were with your soulmate, and they helped you, right? They knew it was scary for you. They helped you. Or you fell in love because they protected you or you protected them. Underground tunnels. Love. You chose love. Okay, let's go with the cards. That was a fast leap forward. Just want to make sure I didn't completely mess up here. Oh, I did. I kind of took it off camera. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. Okay, try to do that off mic. Okay. Nice, another beautiful pairing of cards. So beautiful, right? Soulmate love, beautiful. And then we have your tower moment, your big change, being thrown out of the house, being disconnected, having to abandon your family, probably your city as well, but your family, right? You had to give up everything for love, but that was the right thing for you to do. It led to a fortunate, happy, prosperous, fulfilled in the heart life. I don't think you wanted for anything. Look at your protector here at the top, right? The sword. It was meant to be your soulmate, as we see here in the Akashic record. So more than once you've already been with them. Sort of this story. Look at down here. Look at you reflecting back, reading, smiling. Maybe this is the two of you flipping through your photo albums, your memories. But I feel like you're pretty well versed at this point in how to find your soulmate. So you might already be with them. If not, you're definitely a champion at connecting with your soulmate in your lifetime. So they're coming. If you're not with them right now, they are coming for you. You might have to give up something. You may have to give up family. You may have to give up a lifestyle that you're currently enjoying, but that's an easy choice for you. That's like a no-brainer for you. Okay. Excuse me. We're going to come to harvests here. We have my pig, my little piggy. This is all about indulgence. So this could be your financial harvest, so smart investments. Maybe that's what you do now. You're very financially savvy. Or if you are inventing, you're someone who's invented products to sell. You're kind of driving your bounty here, right? You're the master of creating your cornucopia. That's why you're the fool. You've unlocked the knowledge that comes with following your heart, right? The fool here is leaning chest first. You're bringing only what you need, as we saw, right? You're more than willing to give up. I will give up anything to follow my soul purpose, to follow my heart, to be with my soulmate, right? The love in your hand, the hope, the peace that this gives you. You're spreading your wings. Looks like your phoenix wings there. You know how to design your bounty. You know how to create your cornucopia. You know how to indulge and enjoy life, which seems like you're happy with the simple things. You're happy with the bare minimum as long as you're with your companion. Heart first. You're living your soul purpose. You're living authentic to you, and you're with the people and person that you love. Okay. So we have monumental impact, and we have my mask charm. To kind of danced away on my hand here. We have my mask charm. So this is sort of a false face forward. This is, pretending to be someone you're not. But you had a monumental impact. Maybe you snuck into a society. Maybe that's how you met, your partner, because clearly they're not part of the social circle that your family deemed appropriate. I've seen many movies and possibly documentaries. I'm sure they're based on some true facts, but where there's a member of the family that starts to join revolution groups, right? People who want to speak out against royalty, speak out against the government, whoever's in power. But you might have to, right, change your wardrobe, strip back in order to fit in. I feel like that's kind of the energy here. And by doing so, that had monumental impact on you. You were able to open and expand your mind. You were able to make certain connections and, of course, cross paths with your soulmate. This could be the group for the underground tunnels. Maybe you had to sneak in because you would not be part of the network if they knew, you were the son or daughter of, right? They immediately would think you're a spy versus someone doing their best to fit in. But there's great momentum here when it's my starfish charm. This is all about the wind kind of rotating and moving this forward. So your ability, probably the impact you had, maybe you were able to give an influx of money so that tunnels and the networks could be set up. Maybe you were able to connect people. Maybe that's why you're whispering over here. Connect other people in position of power to help with paperwork, etc. So using your status for good, kind of hiding your status, but using it for good. And then we have international trade, a period where it's flourishing. But I think this trade is more like a trade route, which would mean the underground tunnel system. There is travel. There is movement forward. This is my unicorn rocking horse. So this is all about the magic of momentum. So as you rock, the horse actually moves forward. So a little bit backwards to kind of launch forward, a little bit backwards to launch forward. So sort of the falling back moments would be, you know, loss of family connections, but then you launch forward in your relationship. This could be a fallback in terms of, you know, maybe time in jail because you got caught helping. And then once you're out, you launch forward because you've gained some more knowledge. Maybe you made some contacts. I'm just trying to relate it to that time period where you got pretty much locked up for anything. So there's like this beautiful magic that's all heart. You're leaping forward, you're guided by your heart, you're trusting in your heart, and you make great momentum and kind of helping with this community to kind of end something. It's almost like you're driving forward to the end, right? You're driving forward to the end of slavery. You're driving forward, maybe end of some form of corruption. And at the same time, meeting your soulmate, falling in love. So no wonder I keep seeing a cornucopia, because it's full, right? Your life was full of amazing things, amazing memories, amazing moments, amazing people, good times, food, impact. Okay. And they're pairing the Page of Cups with those 3 charms. Look at you being reminded here. Your fish is coming out, leaping out of the chalice, your font of knowledge, coming out to remind you the significant impact, right? The monumental impact. Here's just one example that you have when you follow your heart, when you lead passion first, when you are living authentically you, when you are being guided, right, by your moral compass and you follow that. That's when you really excel. That's when you achieve. That's when you're adored. Look at all the roses and flowers here on your cover, whatever this is called. That's all the adoration, right? Flowers being thrown at you. Appreciation, adoration. The impact you're having on other people, right? You're helping them grow and prosper. This could be you being a mentor today to someone. This could be you having the ability to open doors for people, just like you did here. Your ability to be the connector, be that protector, right? Very nurturing, caring individuals. Very drastic contrast here to this head of the household energy here, this very disappointed father or grandfather, right? Patriarch. Very disappointed in you, but they should actually be very, very proud of you because you're doing everything right. So the fact that you're willing to live with their disapproval, knowing that you're doing everything right. So maybe you have to do that now. Maybe you are living with someone's disapproval, but you are doing everything right. You've done it before. You know to follow your heart. Your heart is magic. So I'm just going to write that down, that you had to sort of abandon your family, or they abandoned you maybe. Your family, and you were sort of the supporter within a network. I'll put major supporter, because you had a major impact. Who knows, maybe in today's current life, you're like a major donor, right? A major sponsor, philanthropist. Okay. There's a lot of charities out there for helping children and professionals, etc. So maybe you're still part of that kind of lifestyle. Okay, so setting up here for group 3. Feel free to hang out with me if you're also drawn to card number 3. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next past life together. All right. Group 3. Just move your number away. This is the card you were drawn to, either the number 3, third card, the card on the right, right? It doesn't matter how you were drawn to it, you just were. If you skip the intro, I'm looking at a time, or I've been asking to go back to a time when there was a civilization or a city was kind of lost or abandoned. Were you there? At what time during that history for that town or civilization? Were you closer to the end of it? And then what you can take away from that past life trip and apply to your waking life, present life, whether it's just sort of seeing yourself, kind of validating why you have certain traits or certain pulls to things. So we'll start with getting the charms, some cards, and then we'll dive into your past life. Oop, okay. I thought they were done. All right, so we'll just go around and we'll get some more details, more information about this past life, whether it was a lost city, whether you had to pick up and leave and abandon, or were you at the beginning? Maybe you don't even have that knowledge. Maybe you didn't find out it was lost until this life, and for some reason you're really interested in knowing more about this city and why it disappeared, and you're not quite sure why you're so curious. Just waiting, because I feel some more movement, so we'll just hang out here until they got the charms that they want. Okay. Now they keep getting my attention to look at construction. So I don't know if you were at the beginning or you helped create the initial civilization that is now abandoned. It's now maybe what we call a ghost town. We'll see here. I'm just going to go back around up top here. Now that some charms are out of the way, we'll see if they want anything else. Nope, they're pretty much sticking in my hand. Okay, so let's see here. Fountain, Oracle Wisdom, and they give you your Akashic record, your soul record. It feels a little obvious, angels, so that's a little chuckle to me. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen my whale tail. That's nice, so thank you for that. I'm just going to move that where they want it to. It feels like they were pointing up here, so we'll just put it up here. Some kind of great divide. Maybe it was an earthquake. What was it? Heleki? I think I just kind of heard about, and how it was, I think, an earthquake, and they were in some kind of, what were they calling, a lagoon, and because of the earthquake, the water actually flooded upwards, so it wasn't like a tidal wave, it was a sudden sort of overwhelming overtaking of water, and then of course the earthquake led to a tidal wave, which then came in as well. So interesting. We'll see if that has any connection. Oop. Or just the sort of end to your civilization was an earthquake or a rumble. I mean, Pompeii, the volcano eruption, that would be earthquake shaking of the ground first as well, before the loss of the civilization. And I believe, I've never been there, but I believe archaeologists are quite impressed with what they're finding in Pompeii in terms of architecture, the waterway systems they created, right? Similar to Egyptian knowledge and wisdom, innovation, I should say, from that period. And similar to the other two groups, they are adding some cards here with your card that you were drawn to. So it's a little bit more details to kind of help us set the stage. And just check the camera here. Okay. So, group 3, traveling into the past. Starting with your card. Oop. Just put that back. So you were drawn to the 3rd card, which was our Page of Wands here. Look how you're like measuring, kind of using it as a measuring tape here. I feel like, there we go. You know, should my monument be this tall, right? Should the statue in my honor be this tall? I don't know why I feel like that. Maybe it's because I see the 3 pyramids here in the background, but you're definitely eyeing something up. Surveying here, you know, how deep can we dig? You know, maybe you're part of the lost city of gold, El Dorado. Maybe you're an abandoned mining community, mining for gold. Because they keep drawing me into the all the yellow here that your page is wearing. You could also be assessing this wand as well, right? Like an antique dealer or a tradesman, kind of assessing the wares, kind of assessing the value of it. And maybe that's sort of your source of revenue here, source of livelihood. Surveying, measuring, assessing. Okay. And then we have the Emperor and the Devil, both seated upon thrones. This is interesting because this feels like the good and bad kind of conscious, right? We have the good angel on one shoulder, then we have the temptation angel on the other shoulder. It's kind of what I feel here for some reason. I don't know why they're kind of whispering, one in each ear. You know, you could do good with this money, you could do good with this land that you're surveying, or you could go ahead and indulge in this. You could be honorable and give them a proper valuation, or you can put a little money in your pocket. I wonder why you struggle with that in this past life. I mean, temptation, right? I do see the cherries over there. So, struggles with temptation, struggles with knowing right from wrong, but maybe giving into that little bit of temptation, doing a little bit wrong. So we'll dive in here, see what it's about. So we're going to start with your notebook, your fountain of wisdom, your oracle of wisdom, your Akashic records. So they brought forward your little notebook here of your lives lived. Maybe you are surveying to dig. Maybe water is your source of revenue. How deep is the well? How deep does the well need to go to bring water to this region? It could also be oil, because oil is liquid gold, right? And we have the black stains in the fountains, and oil does spray up out of the ground like a fountain. So possibly a place within the world where oil or gold was an abundant supply and now it's not, or you used to look for, assess, survey, and dig for a resource that may be no longer in demand or fell out of demand. So an example of that is my own hometown, childhood hometown. It was big for mining for uranium. Don't need it for bombs, don't need it for anything else. Power, right? Finding better sources. So the city was abandoned. The mines were abandoned. We don't need to mine for that resource. We don't use it for good, right? If we were using uranium for good, let's keep mining, but it wasn't being used for good, so let's not touch it. So your source of wealth and revenue, out the door, right? Gone. So they're letting you know that this is sort of your recurring storyline, which I saw actually in the other two groups. I was going to say group 1 only, but as I think about that, group 2 had a recurring storyline with their soulmate. So all of you kind of are connecting in with a recurring storyline between your lives. Okay, the Ace of Cups is being paired with the Fountain of Wisdom. So they're literally showing you now a Fountain of Wisdom. The Ace of Cups is exactly that. It's just overflowing here with knowledge. I mean, it even has, I could interpret that as a W, wisdom. And we have the dove here delivering you some peace of mind, some knowing, calming your spirit. The angel is handing it right to you. We want you to realize that you've struggled with this before. In this present life, maybe you're in a position where maybe if you're not the sort of surveyor, maybe you're the one trying to protect lands, right, from being dug. Maybe you're trying to protect natural resources. Maybe you're trying to, maybe you're on an ethical committee, right, a steering committee, an auditing committee. Maybe that's what you do, making sure corporations are being honest, authentic, transparent, following the rules. Because I feel like this is just a space that you're naturally guided to do. You kind of feel more at home when you're the one helping to be a bit of a guiding compass. You could be a counselor. You just have, you yourself are a source of knowledge. You are a fountain of wisdom. Like you're very much an expert in this space, what to do and what not to do. This could be a HR. This could be, like I said, a regulator. Maybe you work in law. You just, you know the policies, right? The notebook. You know the policies. You know the rules. You know the legal system, the laws that are in place. I'm pausing because I feel like this card is extra. I don't know why. It feels extra. Just gonna put it there. I wonder why it's extra. Maybe it's like a footnote. Oh, look where I just put it. You're looking up at it. Okay. We'll leave it there. We'll end on that card. We'll see what you're looking at, what you're looking forward at. Okay. So let's head into your two charms here that are paired together, the construction and the winery. And so we have on the construction, they dropped my firefighter charm. So you see the tools. I don't know why you can't sit still. Maybe you're restless. Maybe if you're not doing something, you're very restless. But the firefighters always have the tools that they need, right? So they'll have the ladder, the hose, the protective equipment, the axe, etc. They're also experts. Coming back to you being an expert, they're also very well versed in obviously fire and rescue, fire prevention, firefighting, and fire rescue. Now this whale tail, this is your soul coming forward. And it's coming forward as the whale tail because it's being playful. It's waving at you. The whale tail is also a unique marker. So I think this is a bit of a gesture to say, even though you're doing a similar storyline, like the flow of it, the arc, the sort of essence of it is similar because we planned it, right? It's a soul plan. You're still living it unique. You know, the subject matter expert that you are today, you were different in this past life, obviously. But they're quite joyful, and they're on the winery, so celebration. Obviously, they're spraying, the champagne bottles on you, right? The tail splashing in the water, right? Spraying you in the face. I wonder if you're building a legacy in this lifetime. This could also be a celebration that you are about to satisfy your soul plan of achieving this goal. Maybe you wanted to live this storyline 5 times, and now your soul's coming in to celebrate, to say you've accomplished, right? X marks the spot. You've laid the foundation. You've now conquered this. You're going to bring that talent forward to all future lives, but the storyline will now change. You're going to get a new chapter, right? A new section of your book. So you've built something. You've created something. You've created your, oh yeah, magician. You created the story for yourself, and you've accomplished it. Look at you about to wander out into the unknown, right? You're getting ready to release yourself into the next adventure that you're going to manifest for yourself here. In terms of this past life and sort of the abandonment, look at you searching, right? Drill, 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 and like nothing. Not finding it. Got to look elsewhere. Got to head out elsewhere. Got to try something new. You know, I'm kind of tired of looking and not finding, or this type of work. It was satisfying, but ready for the next iteration of self, the next adventure. For some reason, I want to say that there's this illusion of wealth. I'm going quiet because I'm looking up here too, because the land's barren, but you're wealthy. So that could be a sign of the way you present yourself is not a true reflection of how you're living. So people might perceive that you're living an opulent lifestyle, but you're actually not. You're just doing what you love, and therefore you're happy. You're not wanting for anything. So people think, oh, you must be so wealthy. You know, nothing bothers you. Kind of envy that's kind of around you. Because I feel like other people have placed this false opulence on you. It's not you. You haven't done it. But I do like this stepping forward into this next chapter. You know, you've gained everything that you needed. You have all the knowledge, right? You're now the alchemist. You're now the magician. You've gained and brought forward and taken back from each of these lives that you lived, this storyline. So now you can move forward. You can release yourself from this thread. So a bit of celebration here. I always like when I see souls excel at their soul challenge, at their planned storyline for themselves. Now we have this great divide, and we have my cherries on here, and this is just a little bit of temptation. So this is, giving into that, favorite latte of the season. This is enjoying too much food during the holidays. So it's that kind of indulgence. It's enjoying the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. But it's a great divide. So again, it could be this struggle here. I saw this in the beginning, right? I know that I shouldn't, but I want to. The temptation is there. I know that I shouldn't drink that coffee, that I shouldn't have another plateful, but I want to. And so for you, it's a strong inner battle. That's what I kind of feel this great divide for you is. It's mostly all inner battle. Am I doing the right thing? You hold yourself up to such a high standard. Look at you at the Hierophant here. You have such a high moral standard. You have such a strong degree of what's ethical, how you should conduct yourself, how you engage with people. Maybe others see you as being very well spoken. People are putting you up on this pedestal. Interesting that I say that because in the intro I was saying that you were sizing up the scale of your monument, right? And maybe sometimes you think that to yourself. You're so successful at being an expert that people go to you, that people seek you out, that maybe you chuckle to yourself. Wow, if I'm so important, maybe I should have, something in my name or whatnot. So that's where you struggle. And then you think, oh, that was such a greedy thought to have. But it's okay. Look at the size of your crown here. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 layers, right? There's that W again, wisdom. I see this as like those vibration rings that show you sort of the echo, sort of the ripple effect. So this could be you handing down your knowledge to your successors, to your children, to generations that follow. In this past life, I feel like maybe this is you as the regulator. I feel like you're telling them, stop, don't dig here. This will be failure to your city, right? You'll create a geyser. You'll loosen the rock too much, right? The city will sink. You can't build here. Yeah, they're coming back to the rules, kind of upholding the rules, being the one that kind of guides the community, and kind of keeps out the negative, as best you can, obviously, as best as anyone can here. And maybe that's also why there's a great divide. Maybe you struggle with, I wish I could be on the other side, right? I wish I could be on the other side of the fence, but I'm not, because I'm the police officer, or I'm the judge, or I'm the inspector. I wish I could say you passed your driving test, but you didn't, because you're the evaluator. You just didn't pass the test. So here's some knowledge for you to use for the next time. Here's what I can share with you. So there could be a bit of just temptation here for on self to sometimes not wish to be the person in this position, right? Sometimes we say that, I wish I was not the one in this position. However, I have to be the one that communicates this to you. But it looks like you're releasing this path. You excel at it, but now you're ready to do something new. You're surveying the next choice as a soul, right? What should the next storyline be for the next series of lives here? So, what do you want to do? You're looking up towards the Eight of Wands that felt out of place, that felt extra. Look at all these possibilities. I'm pausing because I'm comparing it to the wand that you're assessing here. That you're kind of, you know, is this the walking stick for me? Do I want silver? Do I want brass? Do I want a gold walking stick? Is this one too tall, right? Do I want a golf club, a hockey stick, whatever? And then here's all your choices. Here's all your opportunities. You can do whatever you want. So maybe you abandoned a society, not so much a city or a civilization, but a society. So that means you left this group of archaeologists or surveyors or planners, right? Whatever you were here, diggers. You left this group of oil merchants, right? You were just like, no, I don't want to be part of this group anymore. And here you are with endless possibilities of what you can do next, what you want to do next, what communities you join, where you go. And look at the terrain change. Look how much more abundant and lush it is. You got green rolling hills, the water's back. So maybe like opportunity has dried up and then off you went to seek new. Maybe opportunity for movement, for progress is drying up on you. And maybe that's the great divide. Do I stay? Loyalty? Do I go? Do I seek out my own fulfillment? And maybe that's what you struggle with, right? Do I stay with a company that has been fine, you know, supporting me for X number of years, or do I find something new to do, something to re-excite me, reignite my passion, start a different storyline, change industry altogether? You know, maybe you go from a surveyor to a city planner. You know, instead of figure out if you can dig, you help figure out how the city layout should function and work. So still applying your talents for good, but I feel like you're ready to do so in a different format. Package it up, provide your wisdom and your skills in a different way, and it's being celebrated here by your angels. They definitely want you to go that route, and this present lifetime is a great opportunity for you to make that transition. I don't see why you need to stay in place with the Magician card here and the Ace of Cups and your fresh notebook. So, you know, your soul celebrating, you're getting a fresh notebook, reminder that you have everything you need, so go ahead. Go ahead and strike out anew, try something different, give that idea a go, right? Bet on self. That's what this card is, bet on self.